Well, it's a little bittersweet. This is probably going to be the last video of the 330 Hyundai. It's actually been working on this farm doing some stumping back there over a few acres for the past few weeks. And this is going to be probably the last day it's here. And Robert came down here and dug a little hole. Thinking about doing like a little water hole for a little irrigation pond. Pretty wet area down here. It's kind of dry now that we're in the heart of summer. But he dug a test pit down here the other day and it's about full of water. And considering it hasn't rained in quite a while, you can kind of see where this kind of all stays wet in here. So I think I'm going to bring the pond out and just kind of do a nice little hole right out in here. Just pile the dirt up over there and we'll spread that out later. But I figured it'd be a good farewell video for the 330. Going out with a little Hyundai bang there. Now that I got the 330, that's some nice crystal clear water there, but you can kind of see where it stays wet in here. I'm going to dig a trench and connect this over and just kind of do just a nice little oval right here, dump the dirt over there and kind of spread it out over top of that mess. But I am selling the 330. I'm about 90% sure Charlie's going to buy it. He's got to come up here and look at it. He said he really wants a newer excavator for his sand pit, so he's got first dibs on it. If he decides he doesn't want it, I will there'll probably be a second video of a walk around of it, listing it for sale. So keep that in the back of your mind. If that doesn't work out, if anybody else is interested in it, now that I have the new 350 Volvo, I just don't need two big machines anymore. This has been a great machine, but I finally got the Volvo that I wanted, so I'm going to let her go. Let's go down here and dig a pond for the farewell video. So there's a few stumps right here. That might be the last one. Throw these over here out of the way. I'm just going to take the dirt and just kind of windrow it up over there and rake it out. Cover this stuff up. But just make kind of a nice little oval pond right here, I think. Be nice. Kind of help maximize this little wet area and give some dirt to raise up the other area over here that kind of stays wet. Grab that dirt that he already raked out and either spread it out or drag it out. That way there's not too big of a random pile over there. Get these stumps up right here on the edge. The rest of it can just get buried out there. Won't be a problem at all. That big pile over there. So I actually cleared this with the D6 about 2 years ago and pushed everything up into a pile right there. So another little while that should rot down and be some decent dirt as well. Push this stuff out of the way and rake that dirt over here. Then we will start digging and moving some dirt. Let's dig some dirt. So I'm going to leave a little bit of a ridge in between these two and tie into it and kind of start on the radius on this edge right here, laying the dirt over. cut this other side in. Might have to lay the dirt back one time or so. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. Scoops. So this bucket on this machine is actually 6 inches wider than the bucket on the 350, but the 350 bucket is deeper than this one, therefore it holds more. The other bucket I have for the 350 is this wide, and it is also deeper. So I think this bucket here is like 2.5 yards or something. And the one on the 350 is like 3.5 yards, and then the big bucket's like 4.5 yards. A fair amount bigger. About 6 feet deep or so. It's going to keep a lot of dirt over here. For some good topsoil. This is some dark stuff. Definitely have plenty of topsoil to use on the farm somewhere. No dam, no nothing. This is just going to be strictly a hole in the ground, and as you can tell, groundwater's high, so it'll just fill up and pretty much just kind of level out. But I have been here when it rains, and it does flow through here pretty good, mainly in the winter time. So it shouldn't be just a, I mean, most ponds are pretty just kind of stagnant anyways, but it doesn't really become a mosquito pit or nothing. It's kind of weird. The wet grass over here breeds more mosquitoes than a pond with fish in it. I don't know, it's just how they are. I have them all at my house. Most of them are just holes in the ground, and it doesn't bother me. No mosquito problem at all. let me dig a little bit more. I'm going to cut this on back, and then I'll come and sit right there. That way I can cast that material over top of this topsoil and throw it out there a little farther. And then if I have time today, I'll rake it down and level it up a little bit. It's probably just going to kind of go right in here-ish. Start my second cut here. Lay the topsoil over here. And then I'm going to throw that clay stuff kind of behind it, rake it down, and then rake this topsoil down over top of it. Is my plan. Set the camera up outside. couple more cuts back here now. I've got all the topsoil stripped off, kind of digging this clay out and laying it over the back side of the pile here. I'll rake that down and cover it up. It's going to kind of be a little bit of a kidney shape. It really ain't too much of a shape here, just kind of a whatever fits. Like I said, I'm just trying to dig a quick little pond here to get some dirt to be able to use around the farm here and level that up some, and give them a little irrigation hole in this wet area. Pretty much about a half day's worth of work with the 330 to finish this little project out. Nothing fancy at all, just roughing a hole in the ground, call it good. Here, and I'll back up, make another cut, and about 3 or 4 more cuts I should have pretty much the shape of the pond that I'm looking for. And spread a little more of that dirt out, call it good. Well, the little pond's coming along. I got to finish digging out this section right here. Got a big pile of dirt over here, and I started throwing some up over there. I'm just going to kind of spread that out and kind of make a nice little high road down here. That way they'll be able to access it, because that does get a little bit wet once I spread that dirt out. But I'm going to go ahead and take all this dirt and lay it over here into a pile and just kind of rake it out over there. But I'm going to set up the time lapse so you can watch me bale all this dirt. So that's gonna be our wrap for today. I'm gonna come back tomorrow and take about an hour and a half or so to finish spreading that dirt out. Getting late today, but was able to get that little water hole dug through the dirt all up here, and that dirt over there, I was able to kind of rake that out and spread that out, so that'll make a nice little ridge over there through that low area. That should stay a little higher and drier. And then when I rake this out, this will just kind of be a little elevated place over here as well. Broke the ditch between the little hole over there, so this is flooding in here, and it should continue to fill on up. Let's finish up spreading the dirt this morning. Let that sit overnight. We'll see how much water is in the pond when I get over there. So I'm going to finish taking that pile of dirt right there, transferring it over, and just kind of raking it out with the excavator. Just going to knock these little saplings down and put dirt right over top of this stuff. Cover it up. So there's still stumps in here, and it is wet in the wintertime, so that's why I just want to take this dirt and raise this up a little bit. If anything, it's just going to be pasture, so it's not going to hurt anything to cover this stuff up, to get rid of the dirt. If you stump it, it is definitely too wet to do anything with it if you don't raise it up any. Big stumps I did dig up, I'm going to push them over here to the side. That way they're not sticking through the dirt here. And this is pretty much going to finish up the work I have for the 330 here. Spreading this out, and then once I transfer this over, I'm going to get on top of the pile next to the pond edge, kind of pull that back a little bit, lay it over, grade that, and then knock this down one more time, and that should be all the material I need to move to finish this little pond up. Like I said, it is pretty much just a hole in the ground, getting whatever we can get with a little bit of work. I got the dirt raked out, and I'm just kind of running through here and holding the bucket flat, kind of trimming everything out to get it level, and working my way out. This stuff's pretty wet and muddy, so it's really the only way to grade it out right now. But it makes it look pretty decent. I'm leaving a little ditch over here. There's a big pile right there from stuff I pushed up a couple years ago. But I'm leaving a little low area right here. That way any runoff from the field has a place to drain back over here and not get caught up and create a muddy spot. Nothing fancy, just spread it out or run over it with a tractor and finish slicking it up when it dries. Definitely when it dries. Passes and I will be done. Shaping up nicely. And the little pond is done. So very simple little pond here. Just took it and dug a hole through the dirt up here to kind of raise all this up and make this ground usable. Look at the spring water running in. Probably gonna have a little bit of a green tint to it. But original grade is down there about 18 inches or so, so this will be a little bit higher. Needs to cut any dirt down later on, it'll be doable then. Let's walk over here and see if we can see how much is flowing out of the spring over here in the woods. Definitely nothing fancy, but it created a nice little pond. Oh, you can kind of see it's running out right there. There we go. All right, we got to get the 330 cleaned up and bring it back to the farm.